I don't know. Don't really care. Hello, everyone. It's Charlton. Please subscribe to my channel. Tap that notification bell, and I would appreciate it majorly. So, I'm here to talk further on the same topic as the last video. A little bit about the extradition, or the hearing on Friday, and what's coming on March 2nd, a week from Monday, I believe, is her extradition hearing. Well, she still has to appear for that hearing, and whether or not she actually raises bail, which, as I understand it, is at for $5 million bail, she has to come up with 10%, bond, something like that. So she needs $500,000. Whether or not she raises that remains an open question. So, but I think, I'll get to that later. So, but I'm continuing on this concept that I just threw together. One person in the comments kind of put this out there, and it definitely fell in line with all the things I've been talking about, all the various theories that, these people managed to fake their deaths. Don't know how they did it exactly. They seem to have some kind of body double, which sounds insane, but that seems like what they managed to do, and how they got plastic surgery on either a corpse or somebody that was living that was going along with this scam. Why somebody would go along and be the person that dies is beyond me. But anyways, so somebody made a comment that that Lori seemed to look different in Maui versus in Kauai, and I was like, wow, well, maybe that's the reason for the island hopping that they did right before she was arrested, was basically to do a swap. And so that maybe the person who was in court on Friday wasn't the real Lori, and I understand that is crazy, dude. But I'm closer to believing that that's not Lori than I was yesterday, and and I don't even, I've looked at the photos. It's very difficult. I have 1,000 of them, lined up. I'm not here to prove anything. Okay? These things just are. All right? I'm just here to sort of inform you and tell you what I think and how strongly I think it. So, but I will say there was a moment that got me a lot closer to why I think that it's not Lori, the real Lori. We'll call it the Lori 2, Lori number 2. I think Lori number 2 is in court. And whether or not she bails out, I mean, I would say, I'll get right to that point right now. I would say her motivation, or their motivation, for raising her bail at this point, after the hearing on Friday, after the prosecuting attorney basically indicating that, they're going through identification process. They have to arrange for fingerprints to be assembled from Madison County. I don't know that she has a record, but I did some thinking about that. I'm assuming they're going to take fingerprints from, her place of residence that she wasn't there or whatever, and hopefully verify that is, those are her fingerprints and could be nobody else's but hers, whatever. But having watched Chad Daybell, hone in on that in court, and his antennas seem to definitely go up on that topic, the motivation for her raising the bail to get her out of there, Lori number 2, I would say is much higher at this stage, But who knows? Everything is just like, woo, going all over the place. And but the thing that got me closer to thinking that this is not the real Lori in custody right now was the wedding photos. The wedding photos, dude. And that's what that was all for. Okay? It's all really cute, and there's a lot of deception going on, but using truth in within this web of deception to just confuse the shit out of you, you know, excuse my French, you know. And but that's what I absolutely think that's why they went there on November 5th. Like, why they go there, come back, then go there? You know, it's so crazy, dude. That's why, man, totally. And I mean, I'll bring up some of the wedding photos, which, by the way, you know, that's Justin Lum from Fox 10 Phoenix. He reported on that. You know, I can't remember what night it was. And at the time, I was just like, well, you know. But the next morning, I took a second look at it. And while I was taking a second look at it, it seemed to like disappear. As I was going back and forth from that to other things, I'm like, wow, they're pulling the story. They're pulling the story. And then I pulled up my laptop and it was still there. You know, but even as I was looking at it for there, and I thought, oh no, it's they're not pulling the story. It's just me jumping to conclusions. It was. They were pulling the story. Things take a little longer to update on your laptop versus the phone, apparently. Whatever. So, you know, at the time, that's the reason I made a video about it, because the story got pulled. Not because of the wedding photos, but because it got pulled. I'm like, why'd they do that? Why'd they do that? You know, I've heard other explanations. I don't really care, okay? Why they pulled it. I'm saying that those photos, the 700 photos of them on the beach, you know, lovey-dovey, playing the ukulele, smiling, kissing, and all that. You know, after you have three dead people, 4 if you want to call it, well, 3 supposedly dead people. I don't think they're dead. I totally think they're alive. Totally. Okay, it's just a theory, but this is a theory I happen to believe in extremely deeply. You know, so they're on the beach, you know, and dressed up in all white in a wedding with just them kissing and dancing, playing the ukulele, which would be in total insanity, being that, you know, Tylee Daybell supposedly just died. That's November 5th, so it was October 19th. That's 11, 12, 17 days before, after Tylee Daybell's death, not to mention Charles Vallow. And actually Alex Cox at that point supposedly hadn't died yet. So, but that's it, dude. That's the reason that's the reason I'm definitely closer to thinking that this is Lori number 2, not the real Lori, in custody right now. And, you know, I think that was there to establish, you know, that it's similar to, you know, what I was saying about getting a photocopy or an image of their license on file at a hotel or at a rental car company, you know, something that is not the actual license that police can inspect, but just an image of it that looks like the person that's dead, you know, whoever that might be, whether it's Charles Vallow, whether it was going to be Lori Vallow, but it was kind of stopped before it could happen at the Kauai Beach Resort when they served search warrants to, you know, search their vehicle and so forth. At that point, I don't think, you know, if that's what was going to happen, you know, they couldn't go through with it then. So, so that's where I am right now. You know, I'm going to go through some of these photos, but I'm just going to cruise through them. Okay. You know, and incidentally, you know, like when you go, cause even though Justin Lum, Fox 10 Phoenix, because they pulled the story, you know, there were other reports, there were other ABC, you know, I know they used some of those wedding photo images in their reports, you know, after Justin Lum, Fox 10 Phoenix, after their initial report later that evening, you know, or the next day. But when you go to search for, you know, those photos, you can't find them, you know. I mean, at least I didn't search super hard. And I just happened to make screenshots of the report, you know, when it was still hadn't been pulled yet. And so I have a few of them. But when you search for basically Lori Chad Daybell wedding in Kauai, you know, and I think that should do it. There's only one in here, I think. Well, there's one. Actually, well, we'll see what that one. That one's an Australian outlet. So, but the Justin Lum Fox 10 Phoenix report, it's toast. It's gone. It doesn't exist anymore. You know, and I thought I saw how to back up, but I don't know. But that one, you know, basically you can't find the images of it. I just happen to have like 3 or 4 that you compare to the Lori that's in court. And it's actually that's Lori number one in the real Lori in the wedding photos. But she has a very similar hairstyle, the darker hair underneath, the blonder stuff on top, and seems to be just a little bit fuller than some of the other photographs while she's in Kauai, like the one where they're serving the search warrant and they confiscate her SUV at the Kauai Beach Resort, in Kauai. So I don't know if this Australian outlet, like when you go to it, if there's an actual image of that. I think there is. I think it is, but it's an Australian outlet. But there's no CBS, no ABC. I'm fairly certain it's in here. There it is. But they're taking a screenshot. They're taking a screenshot from Fox 10 Phoenix, just like I did, So it's not, but there's nowhere else that you can find him. Whatever. So let's just look at some of these photos. Let me cruise. I mean, this is the one that's been out there for a lot of time. And again, I'm not here to twist my mind into knots and circles. And I do look at these things. I look at the nose, like any human being, and try to compare them and stuff like that. But I'm not here to prove anything. Okay. I already know what I believe, okay? And, this is all meant to deceive you at various stages. You don't know when Lori number one's in the picture and Lori number two. And it could be that they're swapping them out at different intervals, totally confusing the hell out of you, And so when they're leaving this building, going in this direction, and it's just like the timing is staged perfectly, almost like a Hollywood movie. It's like action, and they come on out, and I don't know. I'm just telling you, I'm not hinging any of my beliefs on any one little aspect of any one little picture. It's just the sum total of, what I'm telling you, dude. I think you get the point. So. But when you look at her in court, I mean, it's distinct. Let's go to the wedding photos. Let's do that first. Okay, that's a different one. That's an arrest photo. In Kauai. I think before she was booked, I think, when she's in the police department and hasn't been, processed yet, hasn't been fingerprinted and all that, I think. I only saw that in one place. So here's in my opinion, that's Lori number one. That's the real Lori. Okay, this is their wedding on November 5th, right? November 5th, 2019. This is so they go there. They set up some living arrangements, have a wedding, then come back. Okay. There's all this activity in the storage facility, the storage unit in Rexburg, Idaho. That's basically from October 6th to October 28th. There might have been, October 1st might have been the day she actually, bought or purchased the storage unit. And then there were a variety of visits before this. So then they go to Hawaii. They go to the person's place to maybe rent the 2-bedroom apartment or something above her. The older lady who said she turned them down, and then they signed the rental agreement for the nice place in Princeville, Hawaii. That's a pretty expensive place to live, and I think that's a long-term rental agreement. I think she used that to get her driver's license. But my guess is, at this stage, both Loris are in Hawaii at that time. My guess would be Lori number two is the one who took the photograph for the driver's license. This is so bizarre, dude. But I'm telling you, I'm not. I know I got some of you with me, and some of you are just you're totally nefarious. You're in on the conspiracy, and you're just trying to confuse everybody and play footsie with other commenters and whatever, dude. So, but this is Lori number one. All right. Where's another one? This is what I got to deal with. But no problem, dude. No problemo. There's another one. Okay, you see the darkness, and then the blonde, the highlights, whatever the hell they call that. Who knows? Who cares? The nose and whichever. Where's another one? Here's another one. Okay. Right. And this is the one with like all of them in it, like all of them together. Supposedly there were 700 photos. There's a good one right there. Okay. In my opinion, that's not the person. That's not the person that's in court. What happened? There you go. Okay, so it's not the greatest quality because it's going to get fuzzier as I continue to blow it up and stuff. Whatever, dude. So, and then just a bunch of like in court. In the very beginning is when, and I'm not going to play the video. I don't feel like it. These are her in court. Just go one at a time. I don't care if she doesn't have makeup on. That doesn't do it for me. I do not think that's the same person. I don't. Right there, dude. That's not that person in that beach photo, and I'll have to do all this all over again to get that back up here. That's Lori number 2, in my opinion. We'll do it. We'll just go boom, boom, boom. Come back. I'll get them right next to each other. That's pretty much, I'm not going to, go over this and over it and over it. That right there, where's that photo, man? Right there. Get me out of there. It's close, man. It's close. But you notice, like this is the same hairstyle. You got the darker stuff underneath here, but in between that, it changes to, to this where it's not nearly as pronounced, and it's just a little different. It just is not. It doesn't have the same kind of highlight qualities or whatever. So. And so in court, they gave a press conference after that. You're either fair-minded and you'll think it through. I know I'm not far from this. I know I'm totally, I don't want to sound like a foolish man, but I've been a problem for these people, no doubt about it, no doubt. And but you're either a complete jerk off, and you're one of them, which obviously I don't care, but or you're just a fair-minded person, and you'll think it through. It's difficult. The heights are a little bit weird too, but it's impossible to totally nail it down. And I think somebody else mentioned the difference in leg size, in a couple different photos, which I noticed too. I absolutely did. Somewhere she has kind of scrawny, thin legs. I have scrawny, thin legs. Okay. But especially as you get older, that's just, and you just don't have, real muscular whatever. And then for other photos, she has very muscular legs. And I'm not necessarily here to, it's too disorganized for me to get that up there. But there's other ones where the height seems to be different, but again, it's very difficult to pin it down. This is the one of them going through the airport, okay, where she seems to be a little bit shorter, but and I don't know that the legs do seem a little thinner there versus some other photos where. Like here, I don't know. It's tough to say. I agree. I'm not here to twist the truth. I'm here to just be as honest as possible. You notice the brown, the hair again. Dude, there's no doubt something fucking screwy, is going on. And, I think I'm close enough close enough to. That's just good enough for me. So here's other times where where I don't know, man. It's like I think Lori too, but I don't know. I'm not sure because I think Lori 2 is a little shorter. And that's the one in the courtroom, actually. The Lori 2 is a little shorter. This is Lori 1, and this is Lori 2. Well, actually, so I think Lori 2 has strong legs. I mean, Lori 1, the actual Lori. I think, I don't know. It's total madness. But like I was saying before, it's like they choreograph some of these things of them coming in and out of places a little bit, changing hairstyles at different times and swapping people in and out so that, you're completely like, you're cross-eyed. You're like, what the hell? And, you don't have a standard to work from, and sometimes you think Lori 2 is the standard, it's total bullshit. But, so lastly, if I could just show you, the press conference after the hearing on Friday that the chief of police in Kauai gave, as well as the prosecuting attorney. The prosecuting attorney's name is Justin Kohler. He's been on television a couple different times, and he was the one in court basically answering questions of the judge. They did not, her attorney, I don't even know who he is. I mean, I saw his name. I haven't looked into it yet. Don't know that I even will, we'll see. Her attorney tried to get the bail reduced to like $10,000, which the judge denied, and so it remains $5 million. But in the press conference, basically, all the extradition hearing is to establish the identity of the person who's listed on the warrant from the Madison County Prosecutor's Office in the Rexburg Police Department. Make sure that the person they have in custody is the person named on the warrant. And so they have to go through some kind of process using basically witnesses to positively identify her, as well as fingerprints. And he mentions fingerprints in that hearing on Friday, which, like I said before, Chad Daybell was very, very attuned to. And that's really the extent of it. I mean, it's just the mechanics of that and getting her from Kauai to Rexburg, Idaho. It doesn't involve anything with the underlying substance of the case, the merits of the case. That's not going to be debated on March 2nd. The only thing she and her attorney contest is the legality of the arrest, one, and two, the identity of the person on the warrant. She could basically say, I'm not that person, which you never know, man. I don't know. Who knows? Worst comes to worst, she doesn't make bail. They don't post bail for her. They don't help her post bail. She pulls that card. I don't know. I mean, it's just so totally crazy. But I'll play that for you. I mean, this is, and just crank it up so that's from the previous day's hearing. Shoot. And this is where, I mean, basically a journalist is asking, like, who's going to be part of that hearing on March 2nd? Is it going to be persons from Idaho? Is it going to be the grandparents, Kay Vallow, Woodcock, and Larry Woodcock? Are they going to come to Kauai to basically verify that's the Lori, and get on there? I mean, whoever comes, do they have to take the stand? I assume they do and swear under oath. So then they're basically breaking the law if it's proven that they're lying knowingly. And obviously, I'm sure there's a lot of plausible deniability going on here. That's going on all over the place. You kidding me? So, yeah. So let's just take a listen to this. Maybe one more thing after that.
We're working on determining that, and that's all we can say at this point. But we will call the sufficient witnesses necessary to identify the person in custody as being the person named on the Idaho warrant. And were you satisfied that Papanami did not lower her bail? I was pleased that she certainly did not grant the defense's request. Yeah, as I stated.
That's the extent of it. One more. Take one more look at the height, okay? And the differences in height in different pictures. It's very difficult to tell. And I'm gonna put myself down here. Like this is the same stream of photo on a Dateline, video. Although at some point it cuts out and then cuts back in, so it's edited. I mean, in there she's clearly like she's way up here, and then in other photos like that airport photo, she seems to be much shorter, but again, it's not definitive. Believe me. I mean, like in this same stream, as they're walking by, as the camera angle is changing, when the cameraman is walking by her, in front of her, or getting closer, or above, or below, whatever, the height of her next to Chad does change. I mean, right there, it looks like she's way up here, and here it kind of looks much less. So it's not. I'm just saying that is one thing I looked at. Because like here's that same video from Dateline, but I'm telling you, at some point it cuts out and then cuts back in. It gets edited, and she's kind of back to being a little bit lower. But it's just the camera angle. So that's pretty much it. I mean, there was the where they're renting the rent-a-car. That's it right there. I don't know. I know this. I know that I believe there's two Loris. I do. And I believe Lori number 2 is in custody right now. And whether or not they post bail will be very interesting. And I do think, I do think these 3 people managed to fake their deaths. I do think some of these people were involved in the massacre in northern Mexico with the LeBaron family and the Langford family, where women and children were gunned down and slaughtered, in some cases burned alive. I do think it was a hijacking where they were stealing drugs from a drug running operation that, apparently, in my opinion, was going on, and they knew about it. They're all part of the Latter-day Saints, church, and I think they've illustrated that they're from some of the more extreme elements of it. I mean, that's how the LeBaron and the Langford family was reported. That's why they were living in northern Mexico for years. I mean, I don't know how many. It's like they've been there since like the 50s or something, but their community had grown to like 150. They were fundamentalists, whatever, multiple wives and so on. And I believe my theories. I do. That's the story there, man. Thanks for watching my videos. Please subscribe to my channel. Give me a like down below. I'll see you in the next video. Later, man.